The key for everything that Jesus did was that he did what he saw his Father do. Living aware of a heavenly plan, a heavenly presence, heavenly voice. Jesus said what he heard his Father say, did what he saw his Father do. The point was, is he chose to live as a man surrendered to God. Even though he's the eternal Son of God, never stopped being God. He didn't live from that place. Scripture says he didn't count equality with God a thing to be grasped. He didn't grab hold of what was available for him. He chose to live instead as a man surrendered. And we see examples through his life that have never been repeated or rarely repeated throughout any time in history, where there was such, well, let's be honest, everyone he prayed for was healed. That's unique right there. Everyone he ministered to was always left in a place where they could make a decision that would affect eternity. It was that significant. He knew how much to say to one person. For example, somebody would come and say, "What is truth?" And he'd say, "What is it to you?" It was a great time to preach his great sermon, but he chose not to because he knew when to speak and when not to. Person says, "What is truth?" Jesus says, "What is it to you?" He quotes a few commands. Jesus says, "Do that and you'll be fine." What was he doing? Turning his attention back to what he already knew but wasn't living. He didn't need new information. He needed to return to what he knew. And Jesus discerned that by knowing the voice of the Father. Every one of us in this room are designed by God to recognize the presence of God and the voice of God. I consider them two different manifestations of the same thing, the voice and the presence. I hear people say, "I don't hear what God is saying, but I feel his peace." That's what he's saying. Because he is the Word, so his presence speaks. But he doesn't always speak here. He speaks here. And what we have to learn to do is adjust and accommodate that presence that comes to bring peace, because it's in that presence that we find the heart for what we need the courage to do.